If you love talking about cats, but your friends and family are kind of over it, this is the podcast for you. Join your hosts, Danielle Stray Woolley and Elizabeth Calico Gearhart, on the Jersey PodCats, where everyday cat lovers share funny stories, challenging situations, and ask their questions about cats. All right, let's get right into this episode.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle Woolley.
And I'm Elizabeth Gearhart, and we are the Jersey PodCats.
It's too busy dancing to actually say it out loud. How have you been?
I've been good. We just recently had another vet visit for poor little Maxicat.
Oh, what's going on with Max?
So I had him on cyclosporine and steroid, and his ears were infected, and I knew they were, and I had taken him to our regular vet. They gave me some drops. It didn't really help. So I thought, it's really hard to get an appointment with a dermatologist allergist that I see who's like 40 minutes away. I thought, I'm just going to take him down there because it doesn't do any good to take him anywhere else. So he had his appointment last week, which he's like, well, his ears are infected. I'm like, I know, but you're the only one that seems to be able to fix it. So we have him on ear drops, which are, I don't know, a mixture of 3 different things. So he actually formulates stuff down there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's Poly B, Enro, and Dex, the steroid. So that goes in his ears twice a day, and that's really fun. Not. And then he gets an antibiotic for that once a day called marbofloxacin.
Now, does he have any idea why he keeps having an issue?
Well,
or what can be causing it? Is it his body? Is it
he thinks
environmental?
He thinks at this point it could be the food.
Okay.
So, but then
to that. Sheesh.
he switched him from cyclosporine to Zenrelia or Ibu.
I'm sure we're butchering these names.
Yeah. So this is a new medicine, and it's just for dogs. It's off-label in cats, but they've had success with cats. So since we came back and we've been treating him, yes, his ears are getting better, but he has not been scratching at all. He was scratching with the cyclosporine, and he seems to be feeling better. So he's still on the steroid every other day, but we're weaning him off. So we'll see what happens when we wean him off the steroid. But his cholesterol was high, but he seems to think it's because he's gained so much weight, and the weight is from the steroid.
Yeah.
And what I'm feeding him, because I told him, well, I give him those squeeze up. He's like, those squeeze ups are for cats that need to gain weight. Those are supposed to be a special treat, like once a month or something. You should not be giving him those squeeze ups all the time. I'm like, oh,
can I just tell you, we've created squeeze up addicts at my house.
Oh, gosh.
If you even make this noise, if you can hear this, if I just grab something, I just grabbed my if anybody needs a travel agent,
Yeah.
if you just make that noise, if I look behind me, they're probably going to come running because they think it's the noise of the squeeze up thing opening.
Yeah. So I have 2 choices on the food now. I'm holding off on the food because I want to see what this will do first. But the 2 choices on the food because we tried everything when he was a kitten.
You did a while ago. Yeah. Everything under the sun.
Right. But there's 2 things we didn't try. One is pork, which is probably easier to get. And the other one is kangaroo.
Okay, then.
So I'm going to look up both of them, but I think the pork, you can get wet food and dry food. I don't want him to feel like I'm punishing him,
Yeah.
And then all the cats are going to have to go on that, but they're so picky. They hardly eat anything now. It's like,
yeah. So I finally got to a good spot. I know the last episode we were talking about butt breath.
yeah,
But I switched over to gosh, what was it? EMs? You think I would know. I give it to them every day. But I couldn't stand, I had a different food for the outdoor cats because it was cheaper. It was still good quality, but it was just in bulk. I got it from Costco. And then for the indoor cats, they just stunk so bad from all the wet food that they like.
yeah.
So I switched them to the new breath one. I'm terrible. I'm so prepared for today. But whatever it is, we'll put it in the notes. Their breath did improve. But
Oh,
now, because we're going to jump topics a little bit, is I also shared last time about Dr. Stray showing up with a bite wound and having to be put into quarantine at my house. So then I had one other outdoor cat. So I'm like, maybe I'll just give them all this fancy food. So I stopped driving myself nuts because otherwise there's no way to just target one cat to just eat one certain type of food.
You
I mean,
can't.
they sell those the ID reader cat
Oh,
food
I didn't
dishes.
know about
And
those.
then it just only opens for each cat, but then that's assuming my cats would keep their stupid collars on. Like they'll figure out a way to flip it over and eat out of it. There's just no way.
Yeah. Look, Max. Max just came in. He's meowing at me. Do you want to come
Hi,
up and say hi?
Max.
Hi. I don't know what he wants. Um, yeah, I couldn't do that with my cats either. When I was trying to keep Max on just certain foods, he'd get so upset if the other cats would get anything he didn't get. Oh my God, the poor little thing. So they're just all going to go on whatever for a while and we'll see what happens. But I want to see what happens with the medication first because it's so hard controlling the food.
Yeah, it's the same thing like when I go through health stuff is if I try to do too many things at once, either A, I can't tell what's helping or not, or B,
Right.
something makes it worse and then I can't figure out what it is that made it worse. So I think it's smart that you're doing one thing at a time.
Yeah, but his ears are starting to feel better, I think, and he's starting to get better, but he's fighting us less on putting the medicine in his ears. It takes two
Mm.
of us, but hopefully and Richard has a hard time doing it. My daughter's pretty good at it, but the other thing was his ear had scabs in it and it was kind of closed up, so it's really hard to get it in, but now it's getting easier because everything's
Was it
healing.
from scratching?
Yeah, from
That's
scratching.
rough.
I know. One night I tried to help him. I like put a wet paper towel in there with my finger and tried to get as much out as I could and try and put the drops in and stuff, but it was just a bad infection that for some reason the other vet couldn't figure out. So this vet though, he's really good and it's worth it to drive 40 minutes, wait in his waiting room for half an hour or more and then
Yeah.
drive. It takes a whole afternoon.
Yeah.
I have to figure it's going to take 3-4 hours. But
Yeah, I went to the puppy bowl a puppy bowl party yesterday. So for anybody who watched the
uh,
puppy bowl, my friend volunteers for a rescue where two of their dogs was actually in the puppy bowl. So I got to meet
oh,
one of the puppy bowl players. It was like very
oh my
awesome.
gosh.
But I was complaining because it was 35 minutes away, and I'm like, oh, it's
Oh,
so far because I don't go anywhere anymore. I barely leave my house.
I know. Right. Well, yeah, we're going to go down to DC to see my son's family for my granddaughter's first year birthday. Yay. And we're like,
Yay.
oh, that drive is such a pain. Well, anyways, we're taking the train. It's great.
Mm-hmm. You just read
So
a book, listen to a podcast,
yeah, yeah.
take a nap.
Yeah, be so easy and then taking it back too. So we have to drive from the train station, but we're going to this little airport in Maryland. And then my daughter's flying out to Portland. So that's going to be a drag because she's been helping me a lot with the cats.
Mm.
Lily has her well trained. Lily has her opening and shutting the door, giving her treats, all sorts of things. Lily's going to be hurting bad when Lindsay leaves.
Yeah, speaking of treats and being trained, I bought something, I didn't even tell you this yet, I don't think, called a pet piano, where
Ooh.
you can train your cat or your dog to play the piano and it spits out food or treats when they hit so many keys. And so far, they are trained to stand in front of the piano and stare at it until I get up and hit the keyboard keys for the food to spit out.
So you're trained to use it.
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter got me that button system. I haven't tried it yet. Well,
I bought it too, and I haven't used it
yeah.
yet.
Well, congratulations, Danielle, on being able to figure out how to spit out treats.
Yeah, yeah, and then it costs a little bit of money to,
Well,
just do double work now. I have to take the treats out of the container, put them into the piano,
and
and then I
then,
have to hit the piano to get the treats out.
oh, that's so funny.
So, but when I have some more time, we're gonna spend time. They'll figure it out. I've tried like putting the cup on top and trying to put the treats up a little bit higher so they have to climb on it. But they figure out how to get it without touching the keys. It's pretty funny.
Oh, they're so funny. Yeah,
Yeah, if anything,
yeah.
it's getting me exercise, making me get up off the couch every time they want some. Or if I say piano, they'll go running to the piano, which is pretty cute.
That's cute. Well, we're putting together the podcast studio and it's almost done. And Richard was looking at artwork and I looked at some with cats and he's like, well, you got to have a cat in there. So I'm going to have to find maybe a small one that has a cat on, but I can't find a cat with a microphone print or anything. So I
Hmm.
may just have to make one in Canva. Um,
Maybe.
yeah, see if I
Yeah,
can.
I'm actually doing a fundraiser for Tommy's Cats. It's going to be March 23rd at Town and Country Inn in Keyport. If anybody wants to go, and the reason you just made me think of that is because one of the houses that one of our volunteers has been helping had 22 cats outside that wound up needing to be
Oh,
trapped and fixed and neutered,
oh,
and most of them had to be released, which was the TNR, trap neuter return. A couple of them were friendly though, so they got into a foster home and they're up for adoption. But they were so grateful for the help that they were artists and they had tons of
Oh.
beautiful paintings that they donated to us for us to auction off at our fundraiser. And I was told there's a cat in one of them.
Really?
So I didn't see it
Oh.
yet, but I was told that there's a cat in one of the paintings.
Oh my gosh, you know what? I don't know if I could make it down to Keyport. When is this?
March 23rd. It's a Sunday
March.
afternoon. It's going to be raffle baskets and a 50-50. So it should be fun. So, but once
I
I get an
might.
eye on the painting, I'll have to let you know.
Well, text it. If I can't make it down there, text it to me. Maybe I can
Sure.
bid on it if I like it, and then I can put it in my
Yeah.
studio.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So I have a meetup associated with the studio called Podcast and YouTube Creators Community. And we're going to have a sneak peek of the studio on March 27th. And
Oh,
then
cool.
and then we're going to have a grand opening on sometime in April. I'm waiting to hear back from the mayor of Summit because she said she would come. So
That's great.
yeah, I'm getting
So anybody
excited.
who's in the Summit, New Jersey area and is looking for podcast space, I
Yeah.
know somebody.
Or just to mix them in, go. We're doing a cocktail hour at 5, so I think that's when most people will come, right?
I think so too.
Yeah, I might try to make it down to Keyport though. That
That
sounds
would be
like fun.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're doing a lot of rescue work right now. It's been really crazy. So that's why the episodes have been a little staggered. Well, one, both of us got sick at the same time. So that was convenient. It wasn't opposite of each other. We both had
yeah,
sick time at the same time together. But then just work's been pretty busy. We had the holidays and I know we're in February already, but I feel like it's still
hey.
January because January was so long.
Oh, wasn't it long? And I coughed the entire month of January.
Mm.
I still have a little bit of a cough. It was awful. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as cat stuff go, there's a couple of other things I like to talk about real quick. One is we spoke last time about how Dr. Stray showed up with a bite wound.
Hmm.
And he is friendly. He's the cat that I've been trying to get inside for years now, who decided that he was going to pop my second story screen out and jump for his
I
life rather than
remember
stay
that.
inside.
Yeah.
But he's been friendlier and friendlier, letting stay in here and there. And so I took him to my vet. And because his rabies shot was lapsed, this is important to know, even if you have TNR cats or you have outdoor cats, I was planning to take him, but the same month I was planning to take him to get his rabies shot updated, he also brought another cat home. A little cute little cat that I saw down the street, actually down the street and around the block. Like this cat magically showed up at my house. My husband and I saw it driving one night. We came home that night and it was on my back porch. So it was smart enough to go
Wow.
climb under my fence and know that was the exact spot to go where I feed cats. And so that guy showed up and he seemed feral. So I said, okay, before I trap um, Stray or struggle with Stray to get him back to the vet for his rabies, let me focus on this guy because he was not neutered, you could tell. He
Mm,
was very not nice. And
mm.
so, but then Stray showed up with the bite wound, so then he took precedent. It was very chaotic. So I have Dr. Stray in my guest room for 45 days on quarantine, and just so happened to still have the paperwork. Did not know that because his rabies was lapsed and because I took him to the vet to get the bite wound checked and it was a little bit infected, he had to get an antibiotic shot. He had to be quarantined for 45 days. The Board of Health had to be notified, and animal control had to come to my house to make sure that he didn't seem like he had rabies.
Oh
So
my
I had to
gosh.
sign off saying I would take responsibility for him, kept him locked in my guest room. There was one night that the cats broke him out and busted the door open. And he just heard him run out of the room and he was like, I'm here, hello. And then Brian picked them up,
Uh,
put them right back in the room. But because he was stuck in that room for 45 days, he was always friendly, but he was always on edge. And anytime any of the other cats were mean to him or he got startled by anything, he would fly to the back door howling. He only howled for
oh.
like 2 days. And then after that, he's like, oh, this is nice. I sleep all day and people bring me food. So he has not tried to go back outside since. He is now an indoor
Yeah.
cat.
And he's mixing okay with your other cats?
He is. So he wants them to love him so bad.
Oh.
And they all still kind of run away like, ah, because he just like headbutts them and like wants to like rub. So Thor
Oh.
doesn't really love cats other than Tony and Derek. But even still, if they get too close to him, he swats and hisses. That's just his personality.
Mm.
But yeah, they're taking to him okay. He's actually currently sleeping on top of my husband's dresser in the bedroom while
Oh.
another cat's on the bed, another one's in the window cling, another one's on the floor. And so yes, you counted 4 cats so far. So I had 5. We lost Luffy, we lost Loki. It's down to 3. 4 is Dr. Stray. Guess what happened to the mean boy that I got fixed? and put back outside.
Came inside?
After his hormones settled down, he was no longer Mr. Mean, scary, trying to smash his face and kill me. Boy. He kept showing up on my back porch. I had food, I heated house, stuff out for him. My husband put a laser pointer out the door, and that was the end of it. Cat was running around, bouncing off the fence, and sitting and looking in my house looking for laser lights for like the next couple of days. And we said, you know what, he seems to be friendly now. We should give him another shot, but we're not going to rush it because he had been taken care of. I already got him a rabies shot, got him neutered. He had his ear clipped, poor guy. But he has no tail. He's a Manx cat, Manx.
Oh. Oh my
It
gosh.
showed up out of nowhere. A Manx cat just shows up randomly on my block.
So is he kind of a gray blue color then, or what is he?
He's black and white. He's a tuxedo. He's a
tuxedo
cat.
Manx. Oh, interesting.
And the way that I got him inside was the one stray cat that's left in my neighborhood that's been around many years, already fixed. He just screams at everybody. They were screaming at each other. There was 2 houses in my backyard, 2 bowls of food, 2 bowls of water, somehow screaming at each other. I opened my backsliding door and I just said, "What are you guys yelling about? You both have houses, you have food, stop screaming." He just ran right in the house in between my legs.
Oh.
Closed my door and said, "Guess what? You're an indoor cat now too."
So you have 5 again.
I have 5 cats.
5 is your magic number.
It's so much work though. It really is.
Oh,
It's a lot of
yeah.
work. And also rescue's been really crazy. I've been helping some people with trapping in their area. We're putting together the fundraisers because we're running low on funds. So it's been like cats 24/7 here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, and it's going to be kitten season very soon. This is middle of February almost.
And that's why we're trying to get ahead of any cats we can get in. There's one cat left in the town next to mine that I've been helping give guidance to a woman. She's gotten so good at it. I'm calling her the cat whisperer, and we're joking about her getting a tattoo. She's a bus driver. So she's like, maybe I can get a cat driving a bus as a tattoo. Because she's gotten so good at trapping. Like, she's been trying for a mother cat the whole time. She has taken in a kitten that she found in her garbage can. The cat was like fell in her garbage can, so she took it in, she took care of it, then realized there was more cats. Been trying for the mother cat since, gosh, months now. Has caught 7 other cats and not the mother yet. So, but there's no clinic spots anywhere. So we have to wait until a clinic spot opens up, and then she has to try trapping and hope that she gets the cat. So for people who are not familiar with the rescue, hug a rescue friend right now.
Yeah.
Same thing for dogs. A lot of my friends in the dog rescues, they're helping with animals that are getting dumped down south that they're trying to bring up front because there's nowhere to bring them down there. So just hug your rescue friends. That's all I got to say. Or attend their fundraisers.
Yeah, it's a never-ending problem. I'm going to try to make it to Keyport. I'll see if my husband will come with me because he loves Keyport.
Yeah, Brian's coming. I have family members, and I have some cool raffle prizes for dudes too because I figure some puppies were coming.
I'll tell him. Yeah, so I talked to my son, and he and his wife they have one baby. They have another one on the way. They're going to be 15 months apart.
Oh wow! Congrats.
I know that was kind of an oops, but he's telling me, yeah, we got to handle expenses. They're going to spend $2,000 to get physical therapy for their dog's arthritis.
Aww.
And I was like, does that really work? Does our physical therapy work for arthritis? Because I've never heard that. Can't you just give her pain meds and she'll be okay? He's like, no, our vet said this would really work and we should do it. And I'm like, okay, well.
I would like to hear about that because I know a lot of people that have animals that are aging. So I'd be interested to see what kind of treatments would be. If anybody's listening that could tell us and educate us more, that'd be great to come on and talk about.
Well, this was a rescue dog found on the side. His wife found it on the side of the road before they met. And she's had problems with her legs. The dog has the whole time. So she had a surgery on one leg. And so I don't know. I think it's just something in her genetics, but poor little thing. I know.
We certainly talked about a lot of things.
Yes, well, we're trying to stick with the health issues mostly because that's
because that's what's been happening. I have more too, but that's for another day just because I can't even wrap my head around some of the other stuff that's been going on, but involving eyeballs and teeth and butts, and there's just so much stuff. So we'll save those for another day.
It's a lot of butt stuff. Yeah.
Oh my Lord. Well, on that note, we appreciate you guys sticking around no matter how weird we get sometimes, but we love talking about cats and we love having you listen. If you'd like to talk about cats and you have some medical stuff going on or things that happened with your pets or cats, excuse me, that you want to share, like how you handled it to allow other people to have an idea, let us know and listen to us next time. Thanks for listening.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. Let's keep the conversation going. Give this podcast a rating so other cat lovers can find it. Connect with the Jersey PodCats on social media or visit thejerseypodcats.com and leave a message sharing a story or question about cats. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next episode.